I want to talk about that Chiefs game real quick, just while we're sticking with the AFC West, because the Chiefs, I got to shout out the Panthers, man, because Bryce Young, these past few weeks, has been looking good. He's been playing better. Obviously, had a bye week, but been playing better. And yesterday, I really feel like putting it together in terms of, okay, like, hold the phone right this second. Maybe they got something here. And I know the Panthers are a beat up team, but I put out a video of just like the worst teams in the league a couple weeks ago, and the Panthers were the worst one. They had the worst defense. They had literally 32 in every category. They had one of the worst offenses, and they seem like they're starting to get into a rhythm right now, even with, a lack of significant talent on the offensive side of the ball. But they turn around and to go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes took the game into his own hands at the end and just had that huge scramble. But man, I gotta give the Panthers some props.
Carolina did something crazy in that game, I thought. The Chiefs were in the red area. They got the Panthers committed 2 penalties. They were justified penalties, okay? I'm not saying they were bad penalties. But the Chiefs got, a new set of downs twice. And the Panthers were able to hold them to a field goal still. I think that the Chiefs got knocked back with 1 penalty as well. But, you don't see teams stop the Chiefs that many times, close to the end zone from scoring a touchdown. And that's more of a compliment for the Panthers, their defense and what they're doing. And I think we're just not going to see the Chiefs blow any team out. This is just how they're playing football this year. That's
at least
doesn't matter who they're playing. It's every game is close. And it's weird to watch the Broncos beat the pants off the Panthers, to have their first really good game this season against Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay took the Chiefs into overtime, and, the Panthers had them close. I'm the one who knocks.
Listen, parents just start making meth, so shout out to the Panthers. But I feel like with the Chiefs, because there was a little bit of doom and gloom of are the Chiefs going to drop a bunch of more games? And the problem is their schedule is not a walk in the park, and especially because they got a whole bunch of divisional games left.
Yeah.
So those divisional games have been really close, right? Even with the Raiders, it was pretty close. The Chargers one, I think, was pretty close too. And then, of course, the Broncos came down to a block field goal. So I don't think there's any gimmies in terms of what the rest of their schedule looks like. And considering the way they've been playing, again, I think they'll be better when Pacheco comes back and all that. But yeah, I think that offense just definitely needs an injection of some healthy guys and also some more talent. But again, when they get to the postseason, all bets are off. All bets are off.
The Chiefs they're kind of just replacing Travis Kelce with Noah Gray at this point. So they'll have 2, valuable tight ends in the postseason. And Kelce had kind of a slow first half of last season as well. But then he was really good in the playoffs for Kansas City. I expect all that shit to happen again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, crisp, it ended last week, but I mean, again, they are still they're well coached. Mahomes, while is not playing like usual Patrick Mahomes, he's still good. They're making it work. So the way that I'm looking at the Chiefs is it doesn't matter how they finish. And I really mean this, because even if they don't get the 1 seed, even if they are a wild card team, I don't think it really matters, because they're a different team in the postseason. And the amount of experience that they have in the postseason trumps every other team that's going to be there and just winning. And recently too, that it doesn't matter. So of course they would like to win more games, and they got some tough matchups coming up, divisional games and stuff like that. But ultimately January is going to be what matters for that team.
I think you gotta think about 2 things when you're game planning for the Chiefs, right? You have your game plan for the first 58 minutes. How do we scheme against this team? What are the matchups we need to try and eliminate?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go and you got to look at what they do in the last 2 minutes of every football game, both on their defense and their offense. How do you stop them then? And I think teams, they get close against Kansas City, and then they just shit the bed. Whether they need you're just never going to stop that offense if they have the ball last. You got to figure out how to stop them when they have the ball last. If you're a defensive coordinator, I think a lot of defensive coordinators start to play it safe or whatever, and they give up too many big plays. A reason their offense hasn't produced this year as well is their offensive line has given up more pressures. Mahomes has taken more sacks. That just never seems to happen on the final drive. So figure out what to do differently in those last 2 minutes, and maybe you got a chance against Kansas City. Like, I think if you want to credit like Andy Reid and Spags, like what they do to close out games is insane.
Yeah.
And guys just play. Their team doesn't start making mistakes at the very end of games. It's why they blocked that field goal against the Broncos. Like, they knew they had a mismatch and they exploited it. It's infuriating.
I think, so Coach, I just looked this up. So if the Chiefs beat the Raiders and Broncos lose to the Browns, they clinch just a spot. If the Chiefs beat the Raiders and the Dolphins lose to the Packers, they clinch a spot. The Dolphins tie the Packers and Chiefs beat the Raiders. Yeah. So it looks like they can also just clinch a spot this week too. So we're already starting to talk about it. We only got, obviously we have tonight to play. We got 6 games left. That's it. We're starting to get into the nitty gritty.